and welcome everybody to the Aries Bane channel. So, I thought that I'm going to start my process out of being on this road that I'm walking now with Overwatch. And I thought I'm going to share a lot of stuff that I battled to find information on, that I've sort of learned from in-game people and from myself by just playing the game. And I thought I'd share this with you. So this first part, or this first video that we're doing, is going to be a video about main healers. Now, main healers are a very crucial thing in Overwatch, mainly because they're your first line of heal, you know? So I know everybody thinks that your tanks are your most crucial part of any team setup, but it's actually your healers. Because, say for instance, you throw a Reinhardt into a mix and your Reinhardt's busy losing health because they focus in him, your healer would be the one to keep him alive, to keep the team being able to push forward. Take the healer out of the mix, Reinhardt dies, your team dies. So as a healer, as a main healer more specifically, your role is to stay alive. Because if you die, your team dies. It's funny how that works, but it's sort of how, you know, how this whole thing is glued together, you know. A lot of strategy games like League of Legends, Dota, they're all based around your support and tank heroes. Overwatch, no different. Exactly the same story. So your main healers are people like Anna, Mercy, Moira, and this is controversial, Baptiste. I actually think he's a really, really good main healer, but he's also really difficult. Well, on a scale of difficulty, Anna's top. If you can master Anna, you golden. You can play her all the way up into the highest rank this game's got to offer. Top 500, have fun. You can go. On ease of use, I would say Mercy is your easiest, because Mercy is literally just click. Have your tank that you're busy healing, and you can drop on and off very easily to heal somebody else. Then I would say your next easiest would probably be Moira. But a lot of teams, so let's say from bronze up to like high plat, low diamond, Moira can be effective. But the moment you go into that higher rank in diamond, Moira is going to start getting countered really hard by Anna. Anna very specifically, because Moira works with that spray, so she's got a spread that's about 2 meters roundabout wide that she can spray, and if you align your team, you can heal quite a few people at the same time. Where if Anna throws in her grenade, that's it. GG, Moira's heals are not going to work anymore. And again, nobody's heals is going to work, but Moira gets countered really hard by that. She is also very elusive, so she can get herself in and out of trouble quite quickly. Where the rest of your healers, well, Mercy's sort of got an escape, but you need a place to go. Moira's, she can just escape. Anna, if she gets in a pinch, she's screwed. If it's 1-on-1 and she can land her sleep, she can get out, but if it's like 2-on-1, 3-on-1, that's it. That's her done. And then Baptiste. Baptiste can jump out of trouble. Unless he gets stunned, he can jump, because he's got that boost on his jump. So he can get out very quickly. But on a tactical scale, I would pair a Moira and an Anna in a team. I know that is 2 main heals, but that is 2 very effective main heals. Because if Anna's needing to reload, she can chuck a grenade and Moira can do the rest of the healing. She can get a team up like that. Anna's very, very specific. You need to have a good aim. So generally good Annas are good Widows, because aim is everything. Aim is king. Where somebody like Baptiste is more forgiving in that regard, because Baptiste gives you the capability to heal your team from a distance, because that grenade launcher of his can shoot the freaking healing grenades from the other side of the map. I've seen it. Guy stands literally where nobody can shoot him. You just check the grenades landing in front of you. It is really freaking annoying when you need to kill a Baptiste that you can't see. He's also got the fact that he's got that immortality field that he can chuck out, and you can literally take a Reaper's ult, you can take a Sigma's ult, there's so many ults that just, that's it. Have fun. A nice one for that is Diva. If you can chuck your immortality field out, Diva's ult goes off, you will save your team. There's better ways to counter Diva's ult, but that is one way to do it. You as a healer, as a main healer, your job is to keep the tanks up. Your off healers and utility healers, they are the guys that are supposed to focus more on your DPS and the rest of the team. So that's why your off healers and stuff would be stuff like Lucio and Bridget. I call her Bridget, but a lot of people fight with me about that, so yeah. Anyway, reason being is because they've got very good heals individually. They can tank. Lucio is a very, very fun person to get off a point if he's busy rolling around on the walls and shit. Oh, don't get me wrong, he's easy. If you've got a Widow, yeah, I'll buy Lucio. But that utility heal that Lucio can do by healing the entire team at all times and being able to boost them out of trouble is very, very, very effective in a team fight. But we're not talking about the off healers yet. We are now just focusing on your main heals. You've got Mercy's ult. Right now, Mercy's ult is one of those ults that can change the tide of a team fight. It is also one of those ones that you don't want to panic pop. You know, you get a lot of people that they see their team's health going down very quickly, so they pop their ult and then they think, okay, now I can save my team. But it would probably be better to take the hit, bail, and come back again with her ult. So you rather engage the other team with your ult because you can do your damage boost over your entire team and you can really make the other team's lives hell. Whereas if you panic pop your ult, you're going to waste it. More than likely, you're not going to keep the people you're healing alive, which is your goal, and you're probably going to die from it too. So in that situation where you see your teams falling, bail. Do not use your ult. Let your team die unless you guys are pushing a payload and that's that last like 10 meters that they need to push a payload. Yes, pop your ult. Try and save as much time that you've got left to get your other team members back on point. But don't pop it if it is only the first checkpoint that ult is that the payload is going to. That is a mistake. Do not do it. If your team calls for it and it says, okay, guys, we need to do this push. Normally there is somebody in a team, unless it's you yourself, go for it. Be the leader in the team. To say, okay, I'm going to pop ult. We push on my ult. Right? Something that's really good with a Mercy is you have a Zarya that can pop a bubble on you. And that can save you from a Widow shot taking you out of the air. But you do not need to be in the air for your ult to be effective. You can stand on the ground behind your Ryan, behind your Orisa, behind your tanks, and still heal your entire team. Still do full damage buff on your entire team. You do not necessarily have to fly 400 meters up in the air and become this big target for everybody to shoot at. I've seen it a lot that you see a Mercy pop her ult and all of a sudden she's 10 miles up in the sky and she gets shot immediately. If you see you're going to be pushing close quarters, stay on the ground. Use your ult, stay on the ground. Because everybody's going to you're going to pop your ult, they're going to think, okay, up. And then you don't show up. So your team is getting all the benefits of your ult without the negativity of you being in the air and getting shot and losing the ult within a second of you using it. Then you've got Moira. Moira's ult, I'm a Moira main. Her ult can really ruin a team's day. That choke point pushing with Moira is a lot of fun because you throw your damage orb in and you chase it in after with your ult. There's not many teams and team setups that's going to stand and say, okay, we're going to absorb this damage. Most of the people are going to either try and stun you or they're going to get the fuck out of the way. That is just how it's going to work. So Moira ult, perfect. But I've seen too many people, specifically in the low ranks, where they use Moira's ult primarily for damage dealing. It is not just to do damage. I've kept many Reinhardts, many Junkrats, and your Reapers and stuff when they're busy diving in on people. alive because I'm using my ult to heal them. Her ult does a shit ton of healing. If Anna boosts you, that's insane. The amount of healing that you can do, and any enemy that steps in front of that thing is just going to cook immediately. So her ult, very, very good. Do not just use it as an offensive weapon. She is a healer primarily. Your other thing with Moira is you need to balance the amount of healing versus damage that you do. Because if you're just going to heal and you're going to be empty, when your team needs you to heal, you're going to have to be like, well, shit, guys. I kind of healed you guys all back there. You're fucked now. And then your team's going to swear at you. Because there's always somebody in the team that's going to tell you that you are a shit player. It happens. It's just, no matter, you can be a top 500 player. Somebody in your team's going to tell you you're a shit player. It's just how Overwatch works. It's how any game that has a competitive aspect to it works. So with her abilities, you want to do, the moment you see somebody diving in, do damage to them. But do not just focus on doing damage. Do damage to them, fill up your healing so that you can keep that balance, you know? Because you always need to be prepared for when they dive on your team. You need to throw your healing orb and use all of your heals that you can possibly use at that moment to keep your team up. That is very, very, very beneficial to you if you've got heals. If that dive comes and you're sitting there going like, well, you know, that thing I needed, I don't have it. There's people that's going to be upset. So don't do it. Balance your healing, and I think it is going to work out better. You're gonna feel a lot better about the way that you heal with it. The moment you get that balance right, you're gonna see that Moira is actually a very, very, very effective healer. Right, on to Anna. Now Anna is the cornerstone of most teams, right? Moment you get into gold and up, you're going to see Anna a lot. When you see Anna in like silver and all of that, you're more than likely going to lose the game. Because a lot of people play Anna because they see the pros playing her and she is amazing. And then they think, oh, okay, I can do it. And then they go in and they're like, why is my healing not working, right? Whereas if you go and actually be in the gold ranks and diamond and plat and all of that, you're going to see that an Anna out heals most healers. Because when she chucks that grenade of hers, when she's just accurate with her healing, because that is important. Accuracy with healing is very, very, very important with Anna. So if you've got a shit aim, leave Anna. There's a lot of other healers, just let other people that have got a better aim. That is nothing against you as a person. Anna is just, she's got a very high skill cap. Very, 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 very high. In regards of playing her well, I would put her right up there with Genji. I know that you're going to look at me funny about that. But you can have people that play Genji well. They do good in games. You can have people that play Anna well. Do good in games. Then you've got people that just own with Genji. They can win games on their own. And that's the same thing. You're going to see, when you get into the higher ranks, that you're going to see Anna's just sleeping people. Like, you see somebody going to sleep. You playing against an Anna like that, it is annoying because you come around the corner, you slept, you watching your team die, and, you know, nothing, you can't do anything. You just have to sit there and be like, well, guys, sorry, you know, I didn't have my coffee. I'm just having a bit of a snooze. Yeah, I'll be with you a bit later. Yeah. And a lot of teams are going to fight with you about that because it's not something that you can avoid. But in that heat of the moment, when you're not healing and you have to tell your team, I got slept because I was out of position, that is a problem. Anna is all about positioning. She is a very, very position-orientated hero. It's the same with like a Widowmaker. You don't just run out in the field going tick, tick, tick. You play backwards. You want to be at the back. You want to make it as hard as possible for the enemy team to shoot at you. But you want to be able to cover your team with a healing basis. So she's an amazing, amazing healer. But that skill cap is not for a lot of people. Then we've got Baptiste. Now Baptiste, If you go Google, Baptiste is not considered a main healer at all, but I think he is, for the specific reason that a Baptiste can turn the tide of a fight. He's got his ult that, I mean, if you put that in front of anybody, I mean, freaking Diva does a lot of damage if she's shooting through Baptiste's ult. I like his heal, his area of effect heal that he does with his grenade. It is very effective because your team, your tanks, are generally grouped. They're close together. Unless you're playing a split tank setup, but that is for another video entirely. The way that the games play out is different from rank up. When you go from gold upwards, you're going to start seeing some really interesting stuff happen. But he is really, really good at keeping teams up. Because of all of his healing abilities are area of effect. He's got a heal boost on himself. That is the only thing that heals him. His grenades shot by his feet do nothing to him. But that area of effect heal that he does that actually heals him and heals people around him is really effective. So if you team up an Ana and a Baptiste, Ana throws a grenade and Baptiste hits his heal, you're going to bring a team up from no health to full health like that. It is going to be very, very, very quick to do that. It is, however, this is an however moment. Not always going to work. I mean, you might have that Baptiste moment where you're like, okay, yeah, I keep my team, I throw my invulnerability field, and as you chuck it, it just dies immediately. Before your team could even use it to stay alive, it dies. You need to place your invulnerability fields in such a way that your enemy team that you are playing against has to move out of position to be able to shoot it. But your team should still have effect and use of it. So throwing, let's say for instance, your invulnerability field behind an Orisa shield or a Sigma shield that can keep them from shooting at it. That is the most primary thing. To keep it alive, you will keep your team alive in many, many, many gunfights. But there's also going to be those moments where you play and everything you do just does not work out. Do not think it's you, that you're a bad player. Sometimes you just have bad games. It happens with everybody. I mean, it happens in Pro League where you'll see a team that just the year before dominates everybody and they can't get a win the next year. It's a funny thing that happens, but it does happen, and it is not a personal thing. Just rinse it off, just get it out of your mind. Go into the next game. You're the best. Keep that in mind. You're the best. Do not, however, play like you are a professional player. Don't do that. That is bad. You always want to expect that the team you're playing against is better than you. The healers on the other team are just better. Keep that in mind when you play. And you're going to play a bit more defensively, but you're going to keep your team alive. You always want to make sure that you as a healer are alive. I've seen many team fights where the tanks die and the team stays alive because the healers are still there to keep the team up. Where I've seen the healers die and the team wipes. So, as a healer, your main job in life when you're playing this game is to stay alive. I would say a good rule of thumb is you need to get your deaths per game. So that is, say for instance, you're moving a payload. So that's 3 one side, 3 on the other side, or 3, 2 if you guys win. No more than 4 deaths in a game. As a main healer. This is now specifically for main heals. Because your main healer's focus is the tanks. So you need to keep those buggers alive. And my number one rule that I do when I go into a game is I always look for the arsehole that's going to give me the most trouble. Right? That Winston that's just going to dive on everything. And the Reinhardt that you're just going to see charging past you into every fight. Without thinking. The Roadhog that thinks because he has a heal built on him that all of a sudden he cannot die. Those are the kinds of people that you need to be looking out for, because those are the guys that are going to demotivate you, because they're going to be swearing at you and saying all sorts of shit at you because you didn't do your job. But they were out of position. And then you're going to get teams that you guys just mix. You know, the mix is perfect. The communication's on point. You know where everybody is, what's happening, who needs heals. And it's not because they spam in, I need healing. It's because they say, I need heals, And you'll find that when you play with these types of teams, this is why I always say, get friends, join with friends, play with friends. But the communication is good. Because you could be a rocking diamond healer, but you're stuck in bronze because your team is not playing like a team. Everybody's in there as individuals, and this is a team game. In any game like this, any team game, if you guys don't play as a team, you're going to lose as individuals. It is just how it works. So my main thing with main heals, and my next video about main heals, I'm going to be talking about positioning and what you should look for as a main healer is just play for the team. I know if you're playing with a Moira, it is a lot of fun just to go and dive on people, do damage, because you can. Moira is capable of doing that. But rather play her as a healer. You're going to upset the enemy team a lot more by keeping your team entirely alive and healed up than you picking off a Genji or a Doomfist or something that's diving you guys. That is not what Moira's for. Anna, if she can sleep a Reinhardt that's charging, that is a big part of a team's defense gone. Sigma is a good tank, he's a good main tank, but he is not Reinhardt. Reinhardt is insane. I've seen people win games entirely just because their Reinhardt was good. But also, if the enemy team's Reinhardt's out of position, wail on him. Because that's your job. You need to keep your people alive. And if you see they're not doing enough damage, throw in your 15 DPS that you do. Throw your orb at him if he tries to run away, because even if he puts his shield up, that orb is going to be eating him. But keep your team alive. Your main focus as a main healer is to keep your tanks alive. Anna, very good at keeping your tanks alive because you can change who you're healing very rapidly. Baptiste, same thing. You can just do that splash. You're going to heal your team. Baptiste is not a good pick when you've got tanks like Wrecking Ball and Roadhog and Diva and Winston, because they're all going to be running in. They're going to be way too far away from you to be accurate with your healing. If you get accurate at distance, go for it. Play Baptiste like that. But he's not going to be that effective as like an Anna that can give you that shot that you can target the person you want to heal. That is my personal opinion about main heals and who they are and what they are and what their main goal is in Overwatch. My next video is going to be about off healers and utility healers and what they do and what they're supposed to be doing in a game. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys there. If you're new here, hit that sub button. I'd love to have you guys talking in chat and comments. Please go leave comments. If you've got anything that I said you disagree with, tell me. I'd love to hear from you. So guys, till I see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.